Chapter 13. Cooper, Friday, October 5th, 3:30 p.m. I pick up Lucas after school and stop by Nani's hospital room before our parents get there. She'd been asleep most of the time we visited all week, but today she's sitting up in the bed with the TV remote in hand. "This television only gets 3 channels," she complains as Lucas and I hover in the doorway. We might as well be in 1955 and the food is terrible. Lucas, do you have any candy?" "No, ma'am," Lucas says, flipping his too long hair out of his eyes. Nani turns to a hopeful face to ask me, and I'm struck by how old she looks. I mean, sure, she's well into her 80s, but she's always had so much energy that I never really noticed it. It's me now that even though her doctor says she's recovering well, we'll be lucky to go a few years before something like this happens again. And at some point, she's not going to be around at all. "I got nothing. Sorry," I say, my eyes dropping to hide my stinging eyes. Nani lets out a theatrical sigh. "Look, goddamn, you boys are pretty, but not helpful from a practical standpoint." She rummages on the side table next to her vine and finds a rumpled up $20 bill. "Lucas, go down to the gift shop and buy 3 Snickers bars, 1 for each of us. Keep the change and take your time." "Yes, ma'am," Lucas says. Lucas's eyes gleam as he calculates his profit, and he's out the door in a flash. Nani settled back against the stack of hospital pillows. "I'll have to go pat his pockets, bless his ministerial little heart," she says fondly. "Are you supposed to be eating candy right now?" I ask. "Of course not, but I want to hear how you're doing, darling. Nobody tells me anything, but I hear things." I lower myself into the side chair next to her bed, eyes on the floor. I don't trust myself to look at her yet. "You should rest, Nani." "Cooper, this is the least dangerous heart attack in cardiac history. A blip on the monitor. Too much bacon, that's all. Catch me up in the Simon Killer situation. I promise you it will not cause a relapse." I think a few times and imagine myself getting ready to throw a slider, straightening my wrist, placing my fingers on the outer portion of the ball, letting the ball roll on my thumb and index finger. And it works. My eyes dry and my breathing evens out, and I finally meet Nani's eyes. "It's a goddamn mess." She sighs and pats my hand. "Oh, darling, of course it is." I tell her everything. How Simon's rumors about us are all over school now, and how the police set up a shop in the administrative office today and interviewed everybody we know, plus lots of people we don't know. How Coach Ruffalo hasn't pulled me aside to ask me whether I'm on the juice, but I'm sure he will soon. How we've had a sub for astronomy because Mr. Avery was holed up in another room with 2 police officers, whether he was being questioned like we've been, or given some kind of evidence against us, I couldn't tell. Nani shakes her head when I finish. She can't set her hair here the way she does at home, and it balls around like a loose cotton. "I could not be sorrier you got pulled into this, Cooper. You of all people. It's not right." I wait for her to ask me, but she doesn't, so I finally say tentatively, because after spending days with lawyers, it feels wrong to state anything like an actual fact. "I didn't do what they say, Nani. I didn't use steroids, and I didn't hurt Simon." "Well, for goodness sakes, Cooper," Nani brushes impatiently her hospital blanket. "You didn't have to tell me that." I swallow hard. Somehow the fact that Nani accepts my words without question makes me feel guilty. The lawyer's costing a fortune, and she's not helping. Nothing's getting better. "Things will get worse before they get better," Nani says placidly. "That's how it goes. And don't you worry about the cost. I'm paying for it." A fresh wave of guilt hits me. "You can afford that?" "Of course I can. Your grandfather and me bought a lot of Apple stocks in the 90s. Just because I didn't hand it all over to your father to buy a McMansion in this overpriced town doesn't mean I couldn't have. Now tell me something I don't know." I'm not sure what she means. I can mention how Jake is freezing out Addie and all our friends are joining in. That's too depressing. "Not much else to tell, Nani. How's Keely handling all this?" "Like a vine. Clingy," I say before I can stop myself. Then I feel horrible. Keely's been nothing but supportive, and it's not her fault that makes me feel suffocated. "Cooper?" Nani takes my hand in both of hers. They're small and light, threaded with thick blue veins. "Keely's a beautiful, sweet girl, but if she's not who you love, she's just not, and that's fine." My throat goes dry, and I stare at the game show on the screen. Somebody's about to win a new washer-dryer set, and they're pretty happy about it. Nani doesn't say anything else, just keeps holding my hand. "I don't know what you mean," I say. Nani notices my good old boy accent coming and going. She don't mention it. "I mean, Cooper Clay, I've been in the room when that girl called protection. You always look like you're trying to escape. Then someone else calls you and your face lights up like a Christmas tree. I don't know what's holding you back, darling, but I wish you'd stop letting it. It's not fair to you or Keely. She squeezes my hand and releases it. We don't have to talk about it now. In fact, could you please hunt down that brother of yours? It may not have been the best idea ever to let a 12-year-old wander to the hospital with money burning a hole in his pocket. Yeah, sure. She's letting me off the hook, and we both know it. I stand up and ease myself out of the room into the hallway, crowded with nurses brightly colored scrubs. Every one of them stops while they're doing and smiles at me. You need help, hon? The closest one asks me. It's been that way my whole life. People see me and intimate and immediately think the best of me. Once they know me, they like me even more. If it ever came to that, if it ever came out that I'd actually done something to Simon, plenty of people would hate me. But there's also people who make excuses for me and say there must be more to my story than just getting accused of using steroids. The thing is, they'd be right. Nate, Friday, October 5th, 11:30 p.m. My father's awake for a change when I get home Friday from a party at Amber's house. It was still going strong when I left, but I had enough. I got some ramen noodles on the stove and tossed some vegetables into Stan's kids as usual. He just blinks at them like an air gate. You're home early, my father says. He looks the same as ever, like hell, bloated and wrinkled, with pasty yellow tinge to his skin. His hand shakes when he lifts his glass. A couple of months ago I came home one night and he was barely breathing, so I called an ambulance. He spent a few days in the hospital where doctors told him his liver was so damaged he could drop dead at any time. He nodded and acted like he gave a shit, but then came home cracking the bottle of Seagram's. I have been ignoring the ambulance bill for a week. It's almost $1,000 thanks to our crap insurance, and now that I have zero income, there's even less chance we can pay it. I have things I do. I dump the noodles into a bowl and head for my room with them. See my phone? My father called after me. Keep ringing today, but I couldn't find it. It's because on the couch, I muttered and shut the door behind me. He's probably hallucinating. His phone hasn't rung in a month. I scarfed down my noodles in 5 minutes and settled back on my pillows and put my earbuds in so I can call Browin. It's my turn to pick the movie. Thank God. They were barely an hour into Ringu when Browin decides she's had enough. I can't watch this alone. It's too scary, she says. You're not alone. I'm watching it with you. Not with me. I need a person in the room for something like this. Let's watch something instead. My turn to pick. I'm not watching another goddamn Divergent movie, Bronwyn. I waited a beat before adding, you could come over and watch Ringu with me. Come out your window and drive here. I say like it's a joke. It mostly is. Unless she says yes. Bronwyn pauses. I can tell she's thinking about it. Thinking about it as a not joke. My window's a 15-foot drop to the ground, she says. Joke. So use a door. You've got like 10 of them in that house. Joke. My parents would kill me if they ever found out. Not joke. With me, she was considering it. I pictured her sitting next to me in those little shorts she had on when I was at her house. Her leg pressed against mine, and my breathing gets shallow. Why would they? I ask. You said they can sleep through anything. Not joke. Come on, just run out till we finish the movie. You can be my lizard. It takes a few seconds of silence for me to realize how that might be interpreted. That's not a line. I have an actual lizard, a bearded dragon named Stan. Valen laughs so hard she almost chokes. Oh my god. That would have been completely out of character, and yet, for a second, I really did think he meant something else. I can't help laughing too. Hey girl, you're into that smooth talk, admit it. At least it's not an anaconda. Bronwyn sputters. I laugh harder. I'm still kind of turned on. Word combination. Come over, I say, not joke. I listen to her breathe for a while until she says, I can't. Okay. I'm not disappointed. I never really thought she would. But you need to pick a different movie. We agree on the last Bourne movie, and I'm watching it with my eyes half closed, listening to increasingly freaking text from Amber chime in the background. She might be starting to think we're something. We're not. I reach for that phone and shut it down when Bronwyn says, Nate, your phone. What? Someone keeps texting you. So? So it's really late. And? I ask annoyed. I didn't peg Bronwyn as the possessive type, especially when all we do is ever talk on the phone. She just turned down my not joke invitation. It's not customers, is it? I accidentally shut the other phone off. No, I told you I'm not doing that anymore. Not that stupid. Alright. She sounds relieved but tired. Her voice is starting to drag. I might go to sleep now. Okay. Do you want to hang up? No, she laughs sickly, already half asleep. I'm running out of minutes, though. I just got a warning. I have half an hour left. Those prepaid phones have hundreds of minutes on them. She's had it less than a week. I didn't realize we'd be talking that much. I'm giving another phone tomorrow, I tell her before remembering tomorrow's Saturday and we don't have school. Brown will wait, you need to hang up. I think she's already half asleep until she mutters, what? Hang up, okay, so your minutes don't run out, and I can call you tomorrow about getting another phone. Oh, right, okay, good night, Nate. Good night. I hang up and place the two phones side by side and pick up the remote, shut off the TV. Might as well go to sleep.